Hey everyone, I'm Kelly with the Suburban Soapbox, and today we are making some caramel apples. These easy homemade caramel apples are sweet and juicy and perfect for the fall. So to start your caramel apples, what you're going to need is granulated sugar, some corn syrup, a little bit of heavy cream, water, and butter. The only special tool you're going to need are some skewers, and I use these for corn dogs. You can get them on Amazon, but they're great for your caramel apples as well. And then we also like to use a Granny Smith apple. I like the tartness of a Granny Smith apple. You can use a Red Delicious apple, but I really prefer these, and the color looks great with the caramel. So to start your caramel apple, we're going to add some granulated sugar to a saucepan and your corn syrup. And we're gonna add the corn syrup to the sugar, and we're gonna stir that together. And you want this over medium heat. So now we're going to add the water to the sugar and just give it a stir. And really what you want to do is just cook this until the sugar is no longer granular, until it's all dissolved and your sugar mixture starts to become clear and not cloudy. At that point, you don't want to stir it anymore. You want to make sure that the sugar starts to burn on the bottom with that caramelization. And we're going to swirl the pan. It's a very high-tech technique, is swirling the pan. The only difference between the caramel apple and the candy apple is you're caramelizing the sugar. Whereas a candy apple, you don't get to that stage. You're just bringing the sugar syrup to the hard crack stage, which would be like if you're going to make like homemade Jolly Ranchers or like some kind of hard candy. So we're going to bring the temperature back down once it reaches that same stage with the heavy cream and the butter. Now that your sugar has become caramelized in the pot, we're going to remove it from the heat. You don't want it to burn, so we want to make sure that it just stays caramelized and golden and beautiful. We're going to add the heavy cream, and I just want to let you know that when you add the heavy cream, it's going to bubble up like violently. It's really going to get kind of scary, so you want to do it very carefully. And then you want to give it a stir with the spoon so that it's all combined. And that's how you're making the caramel sauce. So see how hot that is? You definitely don't want to stick your hand in that pot. Not right now. So once you have the caramel has stopped bubbling and it's kind of like just the sauce that you would expect a caramel sauce to look like, it's just going to take a couple minutes. We're going to add the butter, but you want it to calm down a little bit before you stir in the butter. So our bubbles have subsided, and now we're going to add the butter. And you want to add room temperature butter to the pot, and we're going to stir that in. And at this point, if you want to flavor your caramel sauce for your apples, you can do that. I actually have a recipe for pumpkin spice caramel apples, and they're really good, and you just add a teaspoon of pumpkin spice. So we're just gonna keep stirring. Your butter's almost mixed in, and then you want it to sit just for a little bit to make sure all those little bubbles come out and it firms up just a tad so that when you dip your apples in, it sticks to the apple. While your caramel sauce is cooling down a little bit and you want some of those bubbles to dissipate, we're going to prep the apples. So you're just gonna take the stem and twist it off, and that's just for aesthetics. You can certainly leave the stem on. And then you're going to take the stick, the pokey end of the stick, and stick it into the stem end of the apple, and you want it to go in about halfway into the apple. Now, I made candy apples before, and to get the wax off of your apple, you can dip them for about 5 to 10 seconds in hot boiling water, and you can totally check that out on my candy apple video. So now that our apples are prepped, we're going to dip them into the caramel. Okay, so to coat your apples with the caramel, we're going to tilt the pan that way because you want to make it like a little bit deeper. It's going to make it easier to roll your apple into the caramel. And we're just going to roll it just to coat it. And I like to leave a little bit of the green poking out of the top just because it's a little prettier that way. And let the excess come off so that you don't have a big puddle at the bottom of your apple. Plus, if you kind of roll it around like this, it's going to coat the whole thing, and it gives the caramel a chance to cool before you place it down. You want to put it on either a baking sheet with a piece of parchment paper coated with cooking spray, or I like these Silpat mats. It's a silicone baking mat. You can get them on Amazon. You don't have to get the brand Silpat. It's kind of expensive. You can definitely use a generic silicone baking mat. It will work just well. And so we have this one coated, and it's going to cool pretty quickly. So if you want to put some chopped nuts on there, this is when you do it. We'll just add them to the outside. Okay, so for the melted chocolate, I put the chocolate into a pastry bag or a candy making bag and just snipped off the end, and you just drizzle. You can just go this way, or sometimes I just pick it up and I'll go all the way around it and coat the whole thing all the way around. You can also dip it in a bowl of chocolate. That works well too, but I just like this, and it's not overly chocolatey. And then if you do it this way, you can take some of those nuts that we had drizzled on the other one and put them on the outside of the chocolate. But I like to have options because not everybody likes chocolate and not everybody likes nuts. So just try to please everybody. And we'll do this one with no nuts and just chocolate. And if you want to get really fancy, you can do white chocolate as well. That's fun too. Or you can put sprinkles on them. Really, you can do anything you want at this point. Then you have your gourmet caramel apples. Isn't that awesome? And so easy, and the kids love them. Take a bite. Which one do I want? I want this one with the giant foot. It's so warm and sweet and perfect. It's the best fall treat. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, and remember to subscribe to our channel. For more easy recipes, be sure to visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.